Whew. Oh man. Oh my God. There's nothing worse than having something planned and like going live, and then you have like people knocking at your door, asking to. There she is. Hey, you hit that request button. We gonna bring you on up, girl. Nothing like having Encore saying, "Hey, do you have jumper cables?" Bruh. Now I don't know if it's for them or for somebody else's car, but going door to door looking for jumper cables in 2022 is like, I need to come on now. Like, I know those things are not that expensive. Like, I don't believe they are. So, but oh my goodness. So let's see here. Did we? I know we said yes. I thought we said yes. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I was like, I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, I don't know. Uh-oh, did I turn it off? Did I turn this off? Hello? Hello?
I hear.
I
Yep,
don't know.
yep.
It's like I can't hear it through here. Hold on.
I
You
can
know,
hear you.
probably because I'm talking loud. Technology is having its thing today. So, like, if you can hear me, I'm fine without it. Every now
Oh
and then
yeah.
it wants to do some things. Yeah, so I was just like, I just called my brother-in-law and I said, look, I got stuff going on. Don't come over here till 3 o'clock because I got things going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't need the doorbell and whatnot going off. And then, of course, somebody rolls up. I'm like, who is this? And it's Encore. They're like, do you have any jumper cables? I was like, man, yeah, here, take them, take them. And then when you're done, you can go to my neighbor's house.
So they didn't have jumper cables, I'm assuming. Okay.
No, I was like, look, I got things to do. So, I just gave my stuff away. I was like, Lord, look, and it's like one of those jumper batteries. You know what I'm saying? That will put
Yeah.
air in your tires and jump your car and all that kind of stuff. And it has a plug. So like when we do photo sessions in the woods, because we've done it, we want a fan. Because, so we have the fan to move the hair, but to also keep the person cool while they're outside in the woods. It's hot in Texas. Hello, how are you?
Wonderful.
Oh my goodness, my goodness. Dee, let's get started because you have so much to celebrate. Like I already have my glass to celebrate your 1 year. So I was like, after running across the street, I need something to drink. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm going to get something to drink today. But let's start with this. Tell us who you are and what you do.
So, hey everyone, I am Detra H. I am a licensed esthetician and makeup artist. And I have my own business, mobile spa business, where I come to your home and I set up and I do whatever kind of service you want that you pick from my service menu. And I bring the spa to you, or I'll bring the makeup studio to you, like have lighting and everything for the setup for makeup as well. So yeah, and I service the DFW area. I have been doing this. I've been an esthetician for about 13, 14 years now and makeup artist. So, and I just decided, a year ago to go out on my own and just kind of spread my wings and try my own thing. And it's going great so far.
I thought to myself, when I heard that you had just turned 1 year, I was like, wait a minute, why did I feel like it was so much longer than 1 year? How did I miss that? How did I miss that?
Yeah, but it went by so fast, and I think I just hit the ground running, and everything's been going so well that it didn't feel like a year. Or felt like sometimes it felt longer than a year. Sometimes it didn't even feel like a year. So yeah, I'm very excited.
I was shocked, and I thought to myself, well, this is perfect timing to have you coming here to share your story, share some of your tips, share some of your background, and just celebrate you, turning 1 year old, because it is, I had no idea. I was like, what? It's only a year? Are you kidding me? Like, you're awesome.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Yeah, it's a journey. It's been a journey, but yeah, no, I want to say thank you for reaching out to me, because I know that we worked together before. We partnered together when you do photo shoots and things like that, and I know how much of a big advocate you are for small businesses. So I hope to get there one day, and I just appreciate you for reaching out to me because I love to tell my story and share my journey with anybody that may need help with theirs or so.
Well,
Yeah.
what's funny is I have a list. I have a list of people, and I was telling this to somebody else. You don't think it's that big a deal to ask someone to give you like an hour of their time to just kind of, share their stories, share some advice, share like what's great, what's not great, right? But not everybody's always willing, so there is a little bit of like apprehension. Like, can I ask her? Hey, you have like an hour for me, just like somewhere? And people are like,
Right.
yeah, sure. I was like, oh, I should have asked you like weeks ago.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked. I was honored to do it. So yes.
Now, let's just backtrack because I want to talk about the business.
Okay.
But I want to backtrack just a little bit to discuss how you got here. And we are still in, well, we are still in the pandemic, despite the fact that it feels sort of normal in certain areas. We say normal with air quotes. We are still in a pandemic. And so knowing that it's only been a year ago, my mind went to what events pushed you to make this move of starting your own thing, right? Because you said you've been doing this for 13, 14 years. So clearly you've got some other background if your business is only 1 year old. So just give us real quick, and you say real quick, man, we got time. I got a cocktail. We got time.
And I forgot to get my wine, so I don't have my glass. So you just drink some for me.
Are you serious?
And I never had wine. That's the thing. But I was like, a lot's been going on, and well, just drink some for me. It's fine. You can drink some.
The next time we get on, I'm gonna have to send you a bottle, so then that way you can just have it ready.
Be ready, chilled and ready. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So my background is real quick. I started out working in a salon. As doing spa services and things like that. And then because I worked at a store that had a salon in it. I worked at Ulta Salon Cosmetics. So I would do my services, and then when I didn't have clients, I would sell skincare or sell makeup. And I did that for a little bit. I started selling so much makeup of this one particular brand that the account manager, when she would come in, she would look at the numbers and be like, where are these sales coming from? So, and of course I would do makeup applications with that brand as well. So that would, up her sales. So she would be like, and the management I think would tell her, hey, Detra's selling your stuff. She loves the makeup. She uses it on everyone. She loves it. So she's selling it. That's where the numbers are coming from, the increase in sales. So she reaches out to me. She's like, hey, if you ever want to freelance for me, like if you ever need extra money or, anything like that, just let me know because you are like my number one salesperson and you don't even work for me. So that led to me leaving the salon and freelancing for her. And that's how I kind of got into the makeup selling aspect because I was strictly just spa. I was like, when I graduated from school, I was like, I'm just going to work in a spa. I'm going to do skincare services. I liked makeup.
Okay.
But I loved doing it. But skincare, I think, was more my passion. And so when she offered that to me, I took her up on it. And then I went into makeup sales and kind of it snowballed from there to where I was able to be promoted to actually an account manager, her position. They had layoffs. So then I had to go and try to find another makeup company to work for in the same position. And I got that job as well. So I have worked for 2 different makeup companies selling. And then with the last makeup company, they had layoffs right before the pandemic. I was laid off literally like 2 months before the pandemic started.
Oh, dude.
So yeah, that happened. And then I just took time because we were in a pandemic as well. So I was like, I'm just going to take time, stay home, with my family and just kind of, rethink my next moves. So was going through the pandemic, kind of just chilled for a little bit. And then after kind of everything not got back to normal, but everybody was kind of like going back into work and things like that. I was like, okay, I need to figure something out because do I want to go back into corporate selling, dealing with some of the things I've dealt with, or, should I kind of try to go off on my own and see where that goes? And so I got a lot of counseling about it. And I finally decided to, hey, just do it. because a lot of colleagues, they're like, they're on their own. They have
Mhm.
their own
Mhm.
rooms and clients. And they're like, why haven't you done this yet? Like, you've been in the game for like longer than I have. Like, why haven't you, taken a step? And I'm just like, it had to feel right to me.
Yeah, I
And I
agree.
think these events happening back to back, kind of like me being laid off from one company, going to another company, being laid off from that company, then going through the pandemic, I
Mhm.
was just like, I need to do something where I feel more secure in myself. Of course, starting a business and being an entrepreneur is not stable at first, right?
Yeah.
But you have to work to that point. I was like, I'm not scared to work to that point. I know that I will get there, and it will still be better than being and going back to corporate and not sure what's going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I said, let me just go for it. It felt right. The time felt right. My spirit felt right. Like everything just felt right. And so I just took the leap and went for it. I had an investor that helped me, and that was amazing. So that also helped as well. And here I am. So
So when
yes.
you said that you went and received you sought out counseling, were you talking with like your pastor, spiritual advisor, spouse, friends, family, like just a mixture of all of those resources?
It mainly was a mixture. It was mostly, so I have a mentor. The mentor is actually the lady who, the account manager from the first company that I worked for.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we've actually grown to be really close friends, as well as she's my mentor, because she knows what she's doing. She's been in that side of the industry, the makeup selling industry, for a long time. So she's become a great mentor to me. So I reached out to her, and she was like, "Hey, go for it. You have the experience, you have the skills. I've seen what you can do, and I think it's a great idea." My mom, of course, was a major part, and she actually helps me administratively. Um,
Oh,
so she's in corporate real estate. She's executive assistant, and I mean, is so intelligent and smart, and we just you know come up with ideas, and she helps me, and I'm just so grateful and thankful for her. But she was like, "Hey, if you want to do this, I got you." She's actually working on getting me a new, like, wonderful fancy website and like all these things. So how moms can be like, "Oh my gosh, I want this website for you. It's so beautiful, blah blah blah." So um, she, I love her, but she gets so excited. She loves what she does. She loves being organized and
yeah.
helping. So I love her. But yeah, she was a major counselor for me, as well as my husband, who, we've always had this, amazing support for each other.
Mhm.
And a lot of times it feels like our lives and our career paths parallel each other. Um, so he actually, when I got laid off, he had gotten laid off like shortly before me.
Wow.
Um, because we were kind of going through the same thing where the company was restructuring,
Mhm.
or, the
Yeah.
sales weren't quite where they needed to be. So we were both going through restructuring, and so now, of course, we both figured out what we want to do going forward. But he's been a major, especially as far
Uh-oh.
as counseling, he's been an emotional counselor for me as well as support, because I'm like, when we have those days where we feel like, is this what we should do?
Man.
It's not going right, like it's not doing all this work, we're marketing,
Yep.
and it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. So he's been a great emotional support for me as well. So I have a really great supportive village, and that definitely helped and aided me and pushed me, to go forward.
Well, let me take I'm going to take a quick little deep dive into that because I always like to investigate when people decide to sort of go off on their own, what some of the research they did and how they prepare for it, but more importantly, because it is a mental and emotional change. And
Mhm.
if you have a partner, spouse or whatever, that change also impacts your entire family. So for you, how important do you believe it is to have a business mentor available for you when you're just starting out, or even if you've been in the game like 4 or 5 years? Just how important, because like what has she brought to you that you didn't know that you needed, or what was not aware of?
Well, I think one of the main things is, especially my mom, I could say my mom and my mentor both, they want to make sure, and it's something that I think that we think about and we try to automatically do, but we don't necessarily do all the time. And it's make sure that you're marketable to everyone.
Right.
And you still want to stay true to who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Want to make sure that you reach out, to everyone, because someone, we're all different. People will look at something that you put out and they'll be like, oh, it's not for me because X, Y, and Z. But I try to, whenever I'm doing marketing or something like that, I try to market it to everyone, so everyone will feel like they're accepted and that they can come to me, they can book an appointment with me and things like that.
Yeah.
So while I do try to stay true to myself, I also want to put my light out there that I am, everyone is welcome.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like a one stop, only one type of person, or, like everyone is welcome. I have a very diverse clientele, and I strive to keep it that way. Because I just don't want it to be where it's like, oh, only, X, Y, and Z I work for, I see. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
and so that's the main thing that my business mentor and my mom has really impressed on me, is make sure that you're able to market to everyone and not just like a certain, whether it's just men or women, or whether it's not just like a certain demographic.
Mm-hmm. Now your husband though. Now this is that kicker where both of you are laid off, right? Mm-hmm. And you have 2 daughters. Yeah,
2 daughters.
2 daughters. So you're both laid off. You got a family that you did feed and other things. What was that conversation like when you said, hey, I don't want to go back to the corporate world because it's just not, like, I'm not doing it?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was very I mean, he was very supportive from the beginning. And he, basically was like, hey, I think this is a great idea, especially I think because we were in the pandemic. And a lot of people wanted to, coming out of that, and I really didn't start it until, like I said, 2021. So it was like kind of like the tail end, people were coming out of it. But a lot of people were still hesitant to go back to work or go out, be out, So, my mom, my husband, my business mentor, they're like, I think it's a fabulous idea because you're going to people. People don't want to come out. You go to them and make them feel comfortable in their environment. Of course, as long as you protect yourself and, stay healthy, I think they thought it was a great idea. And he was very, very supportive of it. And I think that's why I chose to go mobile, because I wanted to go have a client feel comfortable in their environment. So I think, coming off of the pandemic and having that idea of going to the client where they're not afraid, they won't be afraid necessarily because they're out in public or out at a public spot. I think that was kind of, they thought it was an excellent idea, and I did too.
Yeah, I have to say that because like so we shut down, and I remember I had just gone to the nail shop and everything was closed. So I'm watching my nails like grow and grow, and I'm thinking, I gotta get this stuff off my hands, right? But once I took it off, I have not gone back to the nail salon. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know about all that, And I know that they're doing the whole like sanitation thing, but I'm just like, no, I don't think so. And I have to believe that a lot of businesses lost some customers who are like, I'm not going to go back. I'm just not. So like, say, for example, if you were in a business park and your restaurants in that area thrives off of those office workers, well, if they're now mostly working remote, you don't have that traffic anymore. So for you to offer a mobile business, that's kind of nice. It's like, yeah, come on by the house because I don't feel like leaving.
Right. Make sure that the client felt comfortable, because I knew, of course, as estheticians, we're tested on sanitation, we're tested on different things of that nature, getting certified in sanitation and things like that. So I wanted to make sure that the client felt comfortable. They would see me wipe down everything, and I have my mask on and gloves. And so I wanted to make sure, that's another thing that I think made my clients more comfortable, is because they saw me kind of taking those precautions. And they, as soon as I laid everything out, my rollout for the business, it was like appointment, because I think people were stressed and tired from the pandemic. They wanted to relax. They wanted to kind of pamper themselves, and them being able to call me and I can come to them they were like, hey, and my clients, I mean, they rave about it. They love it. They're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I don't have to worry about feeling, when you go to the spa, you feel
Yes.
tired.
Yes.
You're, you don't want to have to drive home. And they're like, a lot of my clients are like, girl, I went to sleep as soon as you left. Like, thank you so much for coming to me. So yeah, I'm excited about how happy the clients are and how well they're taking it.
I think that's really cool. Okay, well, let me step back because you hate you hate to have like these sort of world shattering events to create change, right? Because we lost loved ones in the pandemic. I mean, we're still in it. We're like, like I said, I believe the U.S. is in an endemic state.
Mhm.
But you hate to have that to sort of spur creation and give new ideas. But on the plus side, the number of people who started their own business, right? And it is still thriving. It's just like out of the water. It is
Yes.
out of the water. Like people, because a lot of people got laid off. A lot of folks retired early. I do want to talk about some of your experiences in the corporate world because I mean, I don't know if you had the same experience I had, but sometimes those macro and microaggressions, you just gotta get
Yeah.
sick of it. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
We will talk about that. I'm gonna go there. I'm going to go there.
Yes.
But
Yes.
the fact that we had this event happen and give it, like add technology to that, all these other options presented themselves. Because the way we live now is different. People having their groceries delivered. We've had our food delivered. We've had everything delivered. Tape, toilet paper, like everything's delivered because, how we spend our time really matters to us now. So the idea of having someone come to our home where we feel safe, right? And seeing you bring that safety with you and to get like a nice massage and what have you. That's we have new times. Good times for sure though, but new times.
Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah. I think and that's really that's one of the things I looked at too, is I looked at like Instacart, I looked at DoorDash, I looked at things like that, and I said, wow, like, you know, everything's being delivered, everything's mobile, like you don't have to go out and get
Mm-hmm.
these things. And unfortunately for me, like with the equipment, of course I can't have like a whole like institution room in my vehicle, right? But there are a lot of things that I can do where I can buy the equipment that's smaller, that's more transportable, that I can take to these clients' homes. And so that's one of the other things that led me, because I'm like, I can get a smaller steamer, I can take it with me. I can get a smaller microdermabrasion machine
Mm-hmm.
and bring it with me. Like, and they're not heavy. It's not a lot of work, and it's not hard to especially my industry, which I'm thankful for. It's not like I have to like drive a tractor. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I can just buy the equipment that I need, load it up in my vehicle, and come to you and set it up. So I'm fortunate in that aspect as well.
So let me go to that place of making that decision to not return to the corporate world, right? Because I know for myself, there's this sort of conflict, right? Like you want to make sure that young people of whatever gender, whatever ethnicity, can see diversity in a company, right? Because
Mhm.
we know that that is lacking, both in terms of women leaders and women of color leaders. We know it's
Mhm.
lacking, right?
Mhm.
At
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
exact same time, though, there comes a place where you're like, I'm just sort of tired of trying to beat against this ceiling, knock my head against this wall. It's just, you get to a place of, is it even worth it? Like, I know if I step out of this corporate world, that is one less woman who is there to represent for the future. At the exact
Right.
same time, though, there's this whole future that I need to go out and like be my very best me. You know what I mean? Did you feel
Right.
any kind of conflict when you said this is it?
Yeah, I absolutely did. And I think that going through the whole corporate journey, um, I was excited at first, right? Like I was very excited. I was like, hey, I started here, I'm getting promoted. I have a mentor, she's helping me. I was very, very excited. Um, and then you start getting into like you were talking about, the microaggressions, you start seeing you really start opening your eyes and seeing or looking around you and seeing everything that's going on. And so when I had gotten laid off from the first company and then went to the second company, I wanted things to change. Like I wanted it to be different. And it was different because it was a different makeup brand. So they had a different culture. They had a different aesthetic. So I enjoyed that. But as far as the corporate, I guess you say microaggressions, the discrimination, that's one thing that was constant, throughout, whether I left, when I went to, one company left the other company, it was the same thing across the board. And so I think that's what took me so long to go out on my own, is I was kind of like battling, going back and forth, like, okay, do I want to stay here and try to change it? Or do I want to, is it something where I'm too fed up and I need to just go out on my own, do my own thing? So I had that battle the whole entire time. It definitely was a battle the whole entire time. But, I will say the number one thing that caused me to leave is the instability, right? Of course, I was probably in that corporate world for maybe like 5-6 years. And I had went from one company to the other in 5 and 6 years. So that tells you kind of, right, like the instability of it. And the second reason is, like you said, it's, you start to see once you get there, once you get to corporate, once you go to these sales meetings, once you go to different, retailers, you start to see the different things come up, the microaggressions, the comments, and I was just like, you know what, I would love to stay and change this, but it's like also like I have to protect myself and protect my peace, protect my sanity, and I have to go. And I decided I can't go through this again. I feel like for me it was it was very hard, like kind of like a gut-wrenching feeling for me, because I felt like I worked really hard, right? And I don't want to bring anybody down by saying this, but I worked really hard, and I am very observant. I watch everything, and I would see, women that were in my position that didn't look like me, that were higher up than me, and women that were doing the same thing as me, that didn't work half as hard as I worked. I mean, and we have to work hard, right? Like we have to work harder. So we have to work harder. We have to work harder to prove ourselves, and so. And then, corporate gets used to that. They get used to, oh, hey, she'll do this because she is working hard. She'll constantly do this. She'll constantly, I can just ask her to do this and she'll do it, And that's another thing. It's just like, I'm working hard, and I'm seeing women that aren't doing anything. And they're just, going up the ladder. And I am just like, I hope that doesn't sound bad to say, but it just felt unfair. It felt unfair. It felt really unfair.
I don't believe it is anything bad to say. I do believe it is the reality that a lot of us have lived. And for the longest time, we just didn't really talk about it, or we didn't really have the right words to define it and describe what we were feeling. It's not like we're not crazy. You know how folks say, I'm not so sure that happened. Are you sure that's what she meant to say? I mean, maybe you took it the wrong way. No, I know exactly what she said, because I'm not crazy. Like I'm not out of my head. So you get those things where you just go home and you sort of deal with it. But it's not until you get with like your girlfriends, your husband, maybe your cousin, that you start sharing these stories and you realize, okay, so I'm not the only one. Right? Like I'm not the only one. And I know exactly what you mean. It feels like Mikey. If I give her so-and-so, she'll do it, because it's kind of like a rite of passage that we all learn that because of skin tone and ethnicity and race and gender and whatever else, we have to like overcompensate so that we are qualified and we can do just as good and just as much and we're just as, And so you start working extra hard thinking, I'm going to get rewarded for this. And then it turns out, oh, well, Sally Sue, who you just trained, who got here 2 weeks ago, just got promoted. You're like, ain't this a bitch?
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm free. What? Are you kidding me? And I've had that a couple of times in my life. I mean, I've had it where I have literally started a training program, and then this chick took all of that credit and got a whole new job. And I was like, what? You know,
Yes.
so, you're just so naive and so believing that if I work hard, I get, it's like, yeah, that's a
Yes.
no. And you don't
Yep.
want to
No.
get baited or anything, but you get to a place of this is getting old. It's getting old real
Yeah.
fast.
That's exactly what it was. And I've even had, for example, I've had instances of, um, one of my counterparts that, we had corporate visits, right? Like, so they would come down from corporate, come visit us in store, see how we're selling, how our gondola looks, how we're interacting with the customer. They will give us tips on, you can do this to maybe sell more or what have you. And when comparing notes with my counterpart on our corporate visits, right? My corporate visit, I would have more people. I would have maybe 4 or 5 people that would come in. She would only have like 2 people that would come in to see her. I would have everybody, all of these corporate people asking me questions, you know, um, just asking me questions, making sure that I know what I know, all these things, and she would hardly have that happening. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I'm purposely being put through this for what? When my other counterpart, who's the same position as I am, who
Yeah.
doesn't look like me, has less people around her, is not getting drilled as much on all this stuff. It's almost, and I almost looked at it kind of like, are you purposely trying to find a reason
Yeah.
to give me something, or to say, hey, we can't have you because of this, when my other counterpart did not get that at all.
Yeah.
So that's something that's when I really knew. And this was probably, I was in it for a couple of years, right? And so I knew, kind of what I was doing. I was making really good sales. I had some of the top sales, the stores in the country, things like that. And so, my counterpart, and that also made me question myself. Like, I have some of the top selling accounts in the country, but yet we've been doing this at the same time, and yet I'm getting drilled and I'm getting, all this thrown on me when my counterpart is not, and she does not have
Yeah.
top accounts in the country. So it's like, what are we doing? And so that's when I really started to hone in on, something's fishy here. You know what I mean? Like I remember that being one of the first things where I was like, this is really fishy.
Yeah.
And I told of course, my mentor about it. And she kind of brought it up, but of course, nothing really came out of it. Because she worked, for me, I worked for her at the time. So that's when I started noticing things, and I was like, huh, and let me just say this, like, and anybody that knows me, anybody that has worked with me knows how I am, and I will speak truth if I need to speak truth. When I was working, there were only, I could count on maybe 2 or 3, women of color in these leadership positions in the whole Metroplex. And I would know, because we would all see each other at different trainings. We would see each other, at different events, in the Metroplex. So for it to be only, and there's hundreds and hundreds of brands that have reps, that have salespeople, that have account managers in the DFW area. So for it to be only 2 or 3 of us in the Metroplex is an issue.
Yeah. There's a lot of work to be done. There's so much work to be done. And like, when you think about where any woman puts her money, right? It's skincare, beauty, and what, like, everybody has that. You want to see yourself, right? Like, you want to see yourself, and you want to make sure that when you are sharing what your issues are, that person actually hears you and sees you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it does it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and I would say to my mentor, because, I would have these days where I would have women, we would all be in store working, and, they didn't know how to necessarily handle someone with melanated skin, right? So they would pawn them off on me. And, I would tell my mentor, like, this is why we are needed. This is why more of us are needed in our industry, because you have, this person over here who does not know how to handle the skin or how to color match the skin, what products to recommend for skincare, because they may have hyperpigmentation and may be on a Fitzpatrick scale level 3 or 4, which they don't know what any of that is. I do because I'm a professional, but they don't know they don't know what to recommend. And so they will pawn them off on someone they thought me who knew.
Mhm.
And so I would constantly tell my mentor, like, this is why, we're needed in this industry, because there are differences. We are all humans, but there are differences.
Yeah.
And you have to know how to cater to everyone's needs. So
It's funny that you say that as I shift into more about your business. If you're going to be in any kind of field that serves people, you should know about all the people, right?
all of the
I am
people.
fully aware of how to like someone who is fairest of the fair and darkest of the dark. That's part of your skill set, and being a master of your craft versus, I don't know what to do with this, so let me go ask so and so if they know. It's like, I'm sorry, like that's just not how that works, but okay.
That was important to me. And luckily, my experience in the salon and in selling, I really honed in. I didn't shy away from it, right? Like you have a lot of people that may shy away from, oh, if I get a certain client that has a skin tone that I'm not familiar with, I'm going to put that on somebody else. But I was very adamant. It was very important to me to cater to everyone so that I would know, and to be educated in all different skin tone types, so I would know, what I was doing, and I could help anyone, because you don't want to turn somebody away, or you don't want to have to put it on someone else.
Yes.
And as a professional, like if you strive to have your own business one day, then that's where my mind was at too. I knew one day I would be here, right? I knew I would be here one day. So I was like, I have to make sure that I'm educated in all different, skin tones, skin types, so that I can, when I go out on my own, if someone asks me, hey, whatever, I'm like, yes, definitely. I can definitely help you out. So that was the number one thing that was important to me, was making sure that, I could handle everything.
And everyone. I am right there with you. So let's talk about your business, because if I'm not mistaken, the initials of your business do have an importance to you, right?
They do.
What are those initials about?
So the initials are BAA. So that is my grandmother, who is one of the most amazing, of course we have grandmothers that are amazing and strong, and she's just naturally beautiful, and she exudes confidence and exudes class. And I wanted my business to represent someone. I knew when I wanted to name my business, I wanted to represent someone that was important to me.
Okay.
And not like a thing. You know what I mean? So I, talked to my mom about it. Of course, I got my grandmother's approval, and I was like, because I just love you. I think that you personify what I want to bring across in my business. So her name is Bernice Annie Alderman. And so I wanted to name it after her. And real quick, a good story is when she had to have a new pacemaker installed, like the end of 2020. So my mom, sister, and I, we went down to North Carolina, or went up to North Carolina rather. And we were there with her during her surgery. We stayed at Myrtle Beach, and we brought her back to the beach with us to recover. And, we always had these awesome conversations, and she was just like, hey, one day when she felt a little better, when she started feeling a little better, she was like, hey, can you doll me up? Like, I know I just had surgery. I don't feel as beautiful. She's like, can you doll me up? She's, because I tell everybody that, you're my star business, granddaughter. You worked on movie sets and all this and all that. And so she always brags about me. And she said, she said, I've never worn makeup in my life ever. And she hasn't. She's just this church going, lady that just loves her church hats and outfits. And, but she really didn't get into makeup or anything like that. So she's like, can you doll me up? Like, I just want to feel beautiful. And so, I dolled her up. She enjoyed the whole pampering, me doing her whole face. She was in heaven. She loved it. And then when I got done, she was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. I mean, she perked up a little bit more, because she felt, a little bit more confident after surgery. And so I think that memory right there caused me to say, hey, that helped me in naming my business after her, because I said that experience was just, something that is one of a kind. It's amazing. And I really, really will always keep that in the back of my mind and in my heart. So I was like, yes, I'm going to name it after her.
Oh, that is so awesome. And how old is your grandmother?
My grandma's 90. Yeah,
Oh,
she's
and
90.
she had never worn any makeup.
Never worn any makeup. And and that's what I'm saying. She's naturally beautiful. Just beautiful brown skin,
Mhm.
just beautiful clear skin. Nothing is just beautiful, just a natural beauty, a quintessential natural beauty. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I think about it. Let me go back real quick. Hold on. When I think about it, you know, little side note, because they're willing to make some side notes. You know how
Yeah.
people, no, I'm not going to say people. I'm going to say it. There are some men, some dudes, some whatever, who say women shouldn't wear makeup. You should be doing this, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
The whole idea of putting on some cosmetics is just to
Yeah.
enhance what's already naturally beautiful. Yes? Isn't that the case?
That is the case. And that's one thing I'm glad you asked me that, because I want to touch on that. And we've talked about it a little bit before, but that's what, when I went to school and when I was training and all of that, that's the era that I come from. I come from the era of pre-social, well, I guess there was kind of social media, but pre-social media. It wasn't as big as it is now. And I was, taught that yes, you do makeup. It's an enhancement. It's to enhance your features. It's not to make you completely look like a totally different person. And so that's the style that I live in. I live in that classic, beautiful. I could do natural, dramatic, colorful, whatever you want, but it's gonna stay in that lane of I'm going to enhance and not, make you look like unrecognizable.
Mm.
So that's what I think the whole idea of makeup is. Obviously, is to enhance and not to like totally change how you look. And to each their own. We're in social media, land right now. We're in social media era, and everybody's kind of doing the same thing, the same look. Everybody looks the same. And it's like, hey, I'm not going to bash it. It's just not my cup of tea. So I make sure, and I've told you this too, especially when we're consulting with clients, I make sure to tell the client, hey, if you're looking for like this kind of look, that's not my style.
Yeah.
My style is this. My style is natural, classic, beautiful makeup. It's not, when you think of my style of makeup, think of like red carpet, glam, movie sets. Because, movie sets, unless it's like even if it's like a dramatic scene where they're going to a ball or party in a movie, it's just naturally beautiful, but it's still, still may have a smoky eye, maybe more dramatic, but it's still enhancement. It's not changing. So my style is more so that photography, movie sets, red carpet events, things like that. It's not necessarily, again, not bashing it, like a social media type style makeup.
I don't know if you can call it bashing. Funny enough, I did a little soapbox moment because I was like, am I crazy? But everybody looks alike. It's like a Bratz doll. And I don't actually get it because, like my great niece had Bratz dolls with the big eyes and I thought, am I insane? But is everybody looking alike or am I just crazy? It's like, no, I'm not crazy. I have moments.
You're not crazy. Everybody looks alike. They're using too much product. It's like we're coming off of a pandemic. We're in inflation. Like, you want to waste all of this product that you don't need to use? Like too much product, too much, but hey, to each their own. That's all I can say.
To each their own. What I say, I don't. It's not that I'm not knocking it. I am curious because like the way that I described it or spoke about it was I come from an Essence Ebony Jet Beauty of the Week, which I was never going to be in that magazine because I wasn't built that way, but I come from the Ebony Jet Essence world, right? Where Essence would do here are the 50 women who are like amazingly beautiful and they're over 50. You're like, what? She's 80? Oh my God, right? Because it was so that was what I saw on a consistent basis. And so, I'm thinking I want to be like an Angela Bassett, right? I want to be like, chiseled and yet just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's different. It's, these kids got something different. I'm like, I don't understand it, but
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
got something different. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, and I just don't want the art of the idea of skincare to just completely disappear
Yeah.
because I feel like everything is mostly focused on the makeup side of it. When you have these people who wear all this makeup, when they take their makeup off, the skin is very damaged. There's hyperpigmentation, there's acne, there's
Mm,
clogged pores, there's so many different things going on that, and that's one of the things I think one of the philosophies of my businesses as well is it's the skin is first. Skincare. You have to make sure that your skin is in shape, in good shape, because the skin is the largest organ in the body,
yeah.
on the body. So you have to take care of it. And so I just am concerned, and I don't want, and hopefully, me being around will help that, but I don't want it to be a thing where people forget, about taking care of their skin.
Yeah. Well, I can
Yeah.
say this for the people that you have worked with me, like my clients always loved their makeup. And as a person who I don't mind editing, I'd rather not be there very long, I don't have to edit hardly a thing. I am like, oh, and that looks good. Oh, and that one looks good. Oh, and that one looks good too. Okay, we can go on and do what I got to do because, I mean,
Yeah.
you are top notch kid. I'm gonna give you that. You are top notch.
Well, I appreciate it. It's been a journey. I've been doing this for a while, and I think that I've hit my sweet spot in knowing it's my niche, where I am, what my style is, what I can do, and that's exciting. And of course, I always want to train, I always want to grow, and I always want to learn new skincare techniques, learn new makeup techniques. And so I do a little bit. I'm a mixture. Like I will do some trendy things,
Mhm.
depending on the client, whatever. But so I try to change a little bit, but not so much that I'm not, true to myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you have a particular look that you are
mhm,
known for, you want to be consistent in putting out that work. So that
right.
definitely makes sense. It's just so funny. I was just thinking the other day, well, I was telling my barber, who I'm sure he's like, why is this chick telling me about her hormone change and chins under her hair, the hair chins? And I thought, well,
Yeah.
I'm at the barbershop and everything everybody else is talking about at the barbershop, so I'm gonna throw my little something in there too, like, And he was like, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
too. I mean, it's so crazy because as women we have to go through so much, right? Like we do,
Yeah.
our bodies do so much as a woman, right? And we put it through so much, and so I also just want to give women, because my clientele is mostly women based.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give women that sense of like when I'm done with a service, like I want to give them that sense of confidence, that sense of, okay, I can go forward. Like I'm relaxed, I'm pampered, I feel good, my skin is looking good, I can go forward. So and it really people, it probably sounds crazy to some people to be like, oh, skincare and makeup can make a woman feel, a certain kind of way, but it can,
It can.
it definitely can. Yeah, sure, because it's an emotional thing as well, a mental thing.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, like the few times, okay, there were more than a few times, but the few times that I would do any kind of video recording for the company, they bring in the makeup artist and they do a damn good job. You're thinking, I need to go get some pictures done today because I am looking really, really good today. Like I'm looking really good. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like I got my
It
face done. Maybe I should go out and spend a little cash. I'm feeling extra today.
it's definitely a confidence booster for sure.
Yes, yes. So tell me
Yes.
this: what are some of your signature services?
So, signature services, I do, basically I have like a signature facial, and I do a lot of skincare. I mean, that, of course, that's number one. So I do a lot of, skin treatments and skin services, but, just my, basic facial is pretty popular. My skin aging facial, of course, because I do a lot of different things to help And you know, you can't, as an esthetician, like I don't have a magic wand, right? Like I can't like make like I can't give you like a facelift. Like I'm not a doctor, so I can't do that. But you know, I can help you age gracefully in your
I
skin.
love aging gracefully.
Age gracefully in your skin. So I would say like my skin aging facial is one of my popular, my signature facials that I do. And then of course makeup applications. Like I'm always doing makeup for prom, for family photos, of course photos with you. And so those two things right now are I do the most of. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking, I was like, do I need to do, I mean, it's on the list. I'm gonna go see this damn dermatologist because, you know, I don't know what's going on with the, I was like, but shit, I'm almost 50, so I guess they should start doing what they do, right? Is that is that about the time when things start sort of switching
Yeah.
up on you?
Yeah. Yeah. Once those hormones start changing up, then that's
You kind of like,
different for everybody. It's different for everybody.
yeah,
But you know, yeah, once those hormones start, girl, it's
I
you gotta
know. I
you gotta stay on top.
literally, yeah, I literally, but I had a condition. I said, babe, is that a hair? It was like,
Yeah,
I'm not using my razor. Like,
girl, I need to tweeze off right now. Why do I have neck hair? Like why do I have why do, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like of course I would see like older women that would have chin hair and stuff like that, but
yeah.
I'm like neck hair? Like where is that coming from? Why do I have that?
It's what it's all of this. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be in here. But I am team age gracefully.
Yes.
There are some amazing women of all ethnicities who are just as drop dead gorgeous. And I think you just need to, you know, grow into it. Like I don't understand personally the idea of being young forever. I mean, ain't
Right.
much going on when you're young. No offense. It's just
No.
like my
No.
20s were okay, but they were not like, oh my God, my 20s. No.
Right. I mean, I was looking back, you know, because I just turned 40, but looking back, it's like I had, yeah, I turned 40 in April. So yeah, in April. Yeah. So yeah, but looking back, I was like, I have no idea what I was doing in my 20s. I had no, and I was just going through, you know, we're just going through life, doing whatever, like
Yeah. I mean, it
just
was,
going through life, just kind of, and I was in the military at the time. So
oh,
I was working and I was working, but it's like I was like partying. I was doing all this, like, I was just, you know, living my best life. And it's like, you don't, I would say between the ages of like 35 and 40 is when I really started to, and at that age, at that young age, it's like, whatever, you're going through life. You don't really know who you are. You know, you don't know what you'll handle and what you won't handle,
yeah,
what you'll take, what you
yeah.
won't take from people. And so between 35 and 40, it was just coming together. Like, this is who I am. This is what I will accept. This is what I will not accept. This is how I react to certain
Mm-hmm.
things. You know, and you just start to find yourself, and it's very true. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like these are some of the best years of my life right now because it's coming into focus as far as you know who I am and you know what I'm supposed to do. So I'm very grateful, and it's like I said, it's a good time in my life right now.
That's so funny. I had a chat with somebody just yesterday. I had another client. I talked with her
Mhm.
yesterday, and we were talking about aging, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, in my 20s, I was in New York half the time and then in Houston. But, you know, you're not really an adult until you're 26 because you can't rent a car without a co-signer until you're 26. So you're not, you know, but you
Right.
don't even have like, if you're out of school, you're just barely making it. You know, you're a little bit above minimum wage, maybe. And like you said, you're not even really sure who you are, what you stand for, and maybe you are discovering your voice. But in my 30s, I was back in New York in my 30s. And so, golly, those was amazing years.
Mhm.
Amazing. So now that well, like I said, I'm almost 50. But now at
You
this point,
you look amazing, by the way. Let me just say, you look amazing.
girl, tell it, girl, tell it. Go ahead and tell it. You tell it.
is old, but to me, 50 is not old. So, but you look amazing. Yeah.
50 is young, like 50 is young, 60 is young, even 70 is like, really? 70 is not old. Like people in my family live to be like 99 and what have you. So
Right.
when you're there, then you can talk about being old up until that point. You're like, well, that's young.
Right.
Young.
Right.
But
Right.
when in like when you're at that 35 to 40 range, you hopefully are at a place where you know where you are, you know who you are, you know what you want to do, what you stand for, and you're coming into your own, and like you are truly living life at that point, doing
Yes.
all the things. So
Yes. Yes.
nothing against the 20s, but ain't shit going on. Sorry.
It's totally different. And a lot of times I look back, girl, I look back in my 20s and I'm like, what was do I even remember? Like, you know what I mean?
I
Like, you
have
just go through
pictures.
it.
I have
Yeah.
photos, unfortunately, so I have proof of all my things.
It's like,
I carried a camera. So there's I was like, oh, look at me, little midget thing going on there. Okay, I see you, sister. And so, we have all the proof, all the details.
yeah.
So tell me this, because I think we got a few minutes. How can people find you? How can folks find you and like get a spa service scheduled and all that kind of stuff?
Okay, so my website is mobilebeauty.baa.com. So I do have a website there, and there you can see all of my work. Like I have the albums, I have the menu, the service menu, the about me, where you can kind of learn more about me. So that's that, and then I am on Facebook and Instagram at Mobile Beauty BAA. And then Mobile Beauty BAA is Instagram, and then BAA Beauty LLC is Facebook.
Got it.
And so that's where you can reach. Now, to book a service, you can either, because I don't have an automated booking system yet, because I am like OCD and I want to have it hands-on and I want to do it myself. Even though I'm like a year old and people are probably like, come with it, get with it, girl, get the automatic
I'm
booking.
like, are you kidding me right now? You were not even talking.
I'm just old school in that way, to where, and it might change, but I'm old school in that way where I just want to like do it myself, because I have things that I have to say. Like I have to preface it like, hey, I'm going to set up at this time. I got to come this early to set up, and then whatever. So if you want to book, you can either call me, my phone number. I guess we can put it out. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I have a phone number there. And then you can either message me on Instagram or Facebook, and then we can get your appointment booked that way.
You and I are going to have a conversation about technology for small businesses.
I know.
To get you into a flowing place that will still allow you to give all your words and all of that. It will still allow you to do all of that.
Yeah, I know I need to let go of it, but I'm very just kind of like hands-on. Like I need to be hands-on. So
There's a way to be hands-on and automated. There's a way to do it.
I'll listen to you.
I'm gonna have to put a little meeting on the books to get you hooked up on some stuff. Be like, look, we don't have to get on to the good foot right here and get this together.
I'm not the one with the appointment book, like, oh, she wants to come at 10 o'clock. Okay. At least it's on my calendar on my phone. At least it's on my calendar.
At least it's on your calendar, so that's a start. There are better ways, amazingly better ways, to still help you do all the stuff and still be hands-on. My goodness, I can't believe you even put that out there today.
Yeah, I'm old school. Hey, I'm not ashamed of it, but I am open to change. I'll say that.
The good thing is I do believe we are all open to change. So as we go through this journey being small business owners, we are going through our business is going through its own learning curve, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we are going through our learning curve, where I started my business years ago, we are by no means in the same place, by no means. But it's been good to watch it grow and to watch myself grow as well. So it's a pretty cool thing. So I'm excited for you. Cheers to 1 year. Like, hello. Cheers to 1 year to you. I have this amazing feeling that you're gonna be around for a hot minute. You know what I'm saying? Doing some big things, Even
Well,
the
yeah,
bigger things when we get
yes,
the scheduling automated.
yes, cheers to 1 year, and I am so excited. I finally feel like, I feel like, I finally arrived. Like I'm here. Like, and it's just, it's an amazing feeling to like put something into and not have to work for somebody else,
No.
and they reap the rewards. But it's like you put work into your own business, you reap the rewards yourself. And it's not all financially, monetarily rewards. It's just like because it takes it step by step. So for me, the reward is putting in the work, because I always put in the work and always went the extra mile with any company that I work for, and I didn't necessarily feel appreciated. And so to me, this makes myself feel appreciated, where, hey, you put in the work, you get the rewards.
That's a great way. I like how you
Ah,
your anecdote there at the end. Look at you.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I got to put it out there. Put it out there in the universe.
Well, Dee, thank you so much for giving me your hour today. I am going to be calling you. We got to talk about this technology. Like I got you too on the
Yeah.
good foot. I just didn't even know. Didn't even know. I was like, what? We are going to adjust all of that. I'm gonna throw you into the pool and on the deep
Okay.
end.
All right. All
You
right.
in your appointment book.
I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for giving me your hour. Again, congrats to you.
Thank
And
you.
we'll once we post this, I'll be sure to tag you so that people can find you and hook themselves up. Hell, I need to get hooked up because all this right here going on.
Yeah, I'm right around the corner. So let me know. I'll put it in
Yes.
my appointment. I'll put it in my appointment book.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody,
Okay.
for joining us. You have a good weekend, Dee. You also have a great weekend, and everybody stay safe.
You too. Bye. Thank you.